In June last year, Al-Haq, an independent Palestinian non-governmental human rights organisation, published a legal expert's opinion on the obligations of third states and corporations to prevent and punish genocide. The report says, corporate complicity does not require direct participation in genocidal acts, but can be established through the provision of substantial support, such as financial resources, that significantly aids in the perpetration of these crimes. As the ICJ's interim order states, third parties, including corporations, have a duty under the Genocide Convention to prevent and not contribute to such acts. Barclays' financial ties to companies arming Israel and their dealing of bonds for the Israeli government thus implicate it in the violence, as these funds effectively enable the continued military operations that result in Israel's large-scale and blatant human rights violations. So Lewis explained that really well, and you've probably already heard this, but I just wanted to share it again as a reminder and for context, as it's the basis of why we're boycotting Barclays and for why we're also holding others to account. So there is a deep running web of support for the oppressor that stretches further than I can comprehend, through our government, financial bodies, institutions, and wealth. Simply existing in this system implicates us all in the atrocity, making it our collective responsibility to undo the web with words and with action. Cultural Workers Against Genocide began from a place of urgency and a feeling of helplessness. We are a small group of freelance artists working mostly in the field of performing and live arts. The arts has a unique position in being able to act as a platform for wider society, but it also is stuck in an impossible situation due to its current reliance on private funding. We could see the big beast and wanted to dismantle it, but felt too far away to be able to touch it. The answer for us has been to try and reach the beast through its web. In this case, the cultural institutions that represent us and our work. Sadly, you don't have to look very far to see Zionism's fingerprints printed all over our workplaces, through their sponsorships, their programming choices, and in their silence. There is an ethical dissonance of arts leaders entering into partnerships with corporations whose business practices are at odds with the very values that their own institutions claim to uphold. We campaign under the belief that art should never be an instrument of reputational laundering for dirty corporations. The role of culture should be to imagine and model better ways of being, and this should start with the institutions themselves. Our primary focus is challenging how UK arts institutions' funding practices uphold Israel's apartheid, settler colonialism, and the ongoing genocide in Palestine. We approach the conversation from the position that the institutions that represent our work should also be representing and upholding our moral values, to be in line with the work they present, and to unload the independent artist from impossible career choices between personal conscience and professional and financial survival. Particularly in theatre and in dance, performance opportunities are very scarce. People work for months, even years, on the creation of a show, for then only 1 or 2 public performances. This reality makes it an immense and sometimes unaffordable sacrifice for these artists to pull out from or boycott venues. But of course, these sacrifices are incomparable to the oppression and the horror that Palestinians in Gaza and the West Bank are forced to face on a daily basis. Our primary target over the past 18 months has been Sadler's Wells Theatre, who not only have a partnership with Barclays Bank through financial sponsorship, but also share Nigel Higgins, who's the chairman of Barclays and also chair of the board at Sadler's Wells. More recently, we've extended our campaign to Donmar Warehouse, who also receive funding from Barclays. And alongside these 2 big targets, we also support others with similar campaigns in different institutions. We are demanding that these theatres join the Boycott Barclays campaign and cut their ties with the bank. Our approach is unapologetically disruptive but fundamentally non-violent. We often work in collaboration with other groups as well, such as PSC, Camden Friends Palestine, Culture Unstained, PACB, and Queers for Palestine, among others. So far we've done stage invasions, letter writing, protests, flyering, behind the scenes staff mobilising and facilitation. Many of us work in or have connections with these institutions and therefore are utilising these privileges to shake up the system from within. Our campaign has inspired artists to take a stance and raise awareness of audiences of the complicity that exists on our doorstep. It has led to staff and programme artists to ask questions and to mobilise, which is shaking the institutions and disrupting their daily runnings. The conversation is present on the table, and though we've not yet succeeded in convincing them, we feel that the walls are moving. And since Nigel Higgins is on the board of Sadler's Wells, the conversation is also undoubtedly reaching Barclays. Our network widely has succeeded also in getting Scottish Dance Theatre to stop banking with Barclays. We are learning as we go, but what keeps the group sustained is friendship and an understanding that we are in this for the long run. Therefore, we must take care of ourselves and of each other. Some questions that are ever present within the group and that we don't yet have full answers for are, in an industry where financial and professional precarity is so prominent, what can solidarity look like? How do we encourage artists to join the campaign while remaining understanding and empathetic to the different levels of precarity of each individual? How can we sustain pressure while also accepting there is nuance and no one right way of doing so? How can we hold each other accountable while also staying united? How can we form a counter-web to that of the oppressor? There are many small organising groups like ours operating in similar and also different industries. How can we support each other and be connected, to share resources and think together in order to strengthen the counterweb and eventually dismantle the Zionist beast? Thank you.